So my teammates and I on the UT cross country team have been struggling through a pretty big change this past season. This summer, we actually got a new head distance coach, and we went from having a coach who knew us all really well and on this unique basis to a guy who didn't know us at all and was just kind of overwhelmed by the fact that he had a team of 30 men and a team of 30 women to conjoin and coach all together. And so it's been a hard transition to say the least. And I personally was struggling with it a lot at the beginning of the season. Um, but I didn't really voice that to a lot of people. But my high school coach, we still talk pretty regularly. He'll text me about once a week just to check in and see how things are going. But on a random Wednesday, I remember I was just sitting on my bed and he called me, and which I thought was a little weird to call me during the middle of the day, but I answered and he just said, "Hey, I had this weird feeling that you were just struggling and having a hard time, and that I needed to tell you about my collegiate running career." And so he told me a story about how his junior year of college, and I'm currently a junior, he was running track at Baylor, and they went through a head coach transition as well. And he wasn't particularly fond of the guy, and my coach from high school has always been a kind of hothead and wanted to strike up arguments with anyone. And so he got into an argument with this new head coach and ended up just out of anger and frustration quitting on the spot and ending his collegiate track career his junior year of college. And so he said, I can just feel and I just know you well enough to know that you're probably considering the same thing. And I just want you to know that I wish I hadn't. I just needed to share this story with you and tell you that you should really consider things, because not a day goes by that I don't wish I had those 2 years back to run with my friends in college. And so I think I really needed to hear that personally at the time, but I think there was also a bigger purpose in him telling me this story, because the next day at practice I was running by myself with another girl on the team. It was just the two of us, and we had all kind of opened up about how we were individually just struggling and didn't really know how to handle this transition. But she, on this specific day, just opened up to me a lot and told me that she didn't know if she could do this anymore and had heavily considered quitting. And I was able to share the story my coach had just told me the day before about his experience with a coaching transition at Baylor, and how he still wishes to this day that he had stuck it out and hung in there, and he wishes he could have those 2 years back. I didn't say it was because of an argument. I said it was because of just a frustrating transition and just a weird negative environment. But needless to say, that was a big encouragement to her, and that story's been a way for me to encourage and keep pushing my teammates along.